We usually assume that setting a personal limit is a risk. We worry that if we define what we are willing to accept, we will push people away. The version of yourself that has constantly sacrificed to manage everyone else's comfort is what actually disappears when you refuse to set limits. In the beginning, saying yes to everything feels morally correct. You are being helpful. You are present. You are the reliable one. It feels a lot like love, but being infinitely accommodating is a trap. It masks a slow, silent erosion of your own identity, chipping away at who you are, one small compromise at a time. Eventually, the dynamic shifts. You start out eager to help, but soon a deep, unexplainable exhaustion takes over. The error isn't that you care too much. The error is giving without clarity. You are operating without defining your personal limits or respecting your baseline capacity. This diagram illustrates the erosion cycle. You have a central reservoir of energy, but multiple demands extract resources completely unchecked. You end up giving simply to avoid conflict, rather than out of genuine care. This ongoing deficit breeds silent resentment. The affection you once had mutates into a heavy, unbalanced obligation. Giving beyond what you can sustain is a structural failure. It drains your psyche and turns well-intentioned support into a forced psychological debt. This erosion happens because we misinterpret the word no. We treat it as a rejection, an attempt to create distance, or an act of harshness. That misunderstanding comes from confusing a boundary with a wall. Walls are built out of fear. They are rigid, defensive responses shaped by past trauma. Here we see two entities interacting. A wall acts as a strict barrier, designed to isolate and completely sever connections. Now watch the difference. A boundary defines exactly what you can handle, allowing connection lines to pass through cleanly. It doesn't shut people out. It illuminates exactly where you stand, making the connection safe, transparent, and honest. Without that structural clarity, even the most genuine affection becomes confusing and toxic. Think about the physics of a river. Water that flows without any defined edges loses its direction. It spreads out in all directions and eventually stagnates. Human empathy works the exact same way. Unrestrained emotional energy spreads too thin. It loses its depth, its momentum, and its personal power. But if you introduce physical edges, banks to channel the water, the physics change instantly. The flow gains a distinct direction. The water deepens, and its driving force is restored. Those edges are your psychological limits. Defining exactly what you will and will not accept gives your emotional life shape and purpose. Boundaries do not restrict the flow of your life. They provide the essential architectural edges required to sustain it. Establishing these limits changes your internal baseline. The reflexive need to accommodate others begins to settle into a more predictable rhythm. Interpersonal connection goes from being a fragile, draining chore into an interaction that feels grounded and calm. The mechanics of how you help people change. You offer support purely because you have the capacity to do so, and when you don't, you decline, free of guilt. The ability to say no without drama is a practical tool for maintaining a connection without abandoning your own identity. A meaningful life is not measured by your ability to give until your reserves are completely empty. It is measured by your ability to give honestly. That requires a whole self. Personal wholeness is a prerequisite. It ensures that whatever energy or love you offer someone else remains pure and intact. Protecting your peace changes the nature of what you offer. With these architectural edges in place, your energy is concentrated into a single, directed path. When self-preservation is achieved, what you give to the world is no longer born from exhaustion. It is born from life itself.